Tonight, conflict in the Middle East drags on.
Oh my God.
Attacks on airports in the region as Canadians try desperately to return home. Ripple effects from the conflict felt at the pump here in Canada's capital.
7 cents a gallon, people were shocked. And now we're talking about 30 cents a litre.
Gas prices soar as analysts warn more increases could be on the horizon. And a celebration 7 years in the making.
Canada and Ireland have a deep, deep bond of friendship and heritage.
The St. Patrick's Day parade returns to Ottawa as people line the streets to paint the town green. Good evening. We begin tonight with the latest on the war in the Middle East as the U.S. and Israel keep up strikes on Iran and the Islamic regime sends a message to neighboring Gulf states following days of attacks. CTV's Adrian Gobriel starts us off with more from Istanbul.
The weight of a week of war written on the faces of weary travelers arriving at Istanbul airport.
How does it feel to be in Istanbul safe?
Alhamdulillah, very good, happy.
CTV News flew from southern Turkey north to Istanbul on Saturday, hoping to greet dozens of Canadians as they arrived on the first Government of Canada chartered flight from the United Arab Emirates. Just as we landed, we learned of troubling news out of Dubai International Airport.
Oh my God.
An explosion at one of the world's busiest airports, delaying flights and causing passengers to pause.
So this is today at Dubai Airport.
Oops.
Edmontonian Fayez Ahmed drove from Abu Dhabi to Muscat, Oman, finally arriving in Istanbul where he was able to reflect on the past week, caught in a conflict.
All of a sudden there was an alert and all that, and I was really scared, yeah.
It was a much more violent scene at Tehran's Mehrabad airport this morning. Iran's UN envoy says more than 1,300 civilians have been killed in that country as the war enters its second week. Debris and destruction lie where a neighborhood once stood in Lebanon's eastern Bekaa Valley after Israeli ground troops clashed with Hezbollah militants. Collapsed buildings in southern Beirut tell just part of the deadly story. More than 200 have died in this city since the most recent fighting began. Today, Iran's president apologized to Gulf nations that have been attacked, saying that Iran's interim leadership council has agreed from now on, neighboring countries won't be targeted unless they attack us. There are some questioning Iran's president's authority to control the country's military, especially after today's events in Dubai. For the fortunate few Canadians who've navigated their way out of the Middle East to Istanbul, their journey still has one more important leg to go.
I'm halfway there. I'm not back at school yet, so we'll see.
What will it feel like for you to be back on Canadian soil?
I'm really happy. I'm really happy.
It will feel good.
Yeah, very good.
It's been an emotional few days.
It was. Never seen such things. It's not about being scared or whatever, but to be with families, I think, is more important.
You just want to get home and hug your family.
As for the Canadians flying on a government-chartered plane out of Dubai, they're just one of multiple flights to experience significant delays leaving that city as a difficult week grows that much longer for those yearning for the comfort of home. Adrian Gobriel, CTV News, Istanbul.
And there was tangible relief among Canadians who landed in Ontario on a flight from Dubai, as an escalating conflict in the Middle East has, as we've heard, caused travel chaos that has included thousands of flight cancellations.
Just arrived, from Dubai. I'm happy. I'm gonna see my family.
How happy will you be to see him?
I'm so happy, too much.
Now, plenty of happy tears at Toronto's Pearson International Airport today as, for the third day in a row, flights from Dubai carrying Canadians touched down. Many of the Canadians returning today getting out just in the nick of time. There are reports of a drone strike that hit the Dubai International Airport just moments before the plane to Toronto took off. And you can stay with CTV News for continuing coverage of the conflict in the Middle East. For updates on radio, tune in to News Talk 580 CFRA and CTV News channel at any hour. Of course, the shockwaves from the conflict overseas are also being felt by people here in the nation's capital. Gas prices jumping about 6 cents overnight, bringing the average to around $1.52 a litre. CTV's Josh Morano was out speaking with some drivers who are filling up their tanks today. So, Josh, what kinds of reactions are you hearing?
Yeah, Austin, it's been a dramatic increase. Just 2 weeks ago, gas was approximately $1.33 per litre in the capital, a 19-cent markup today. And while drivers say they understand why prices have risen, it doesn't make it any easier when filling up the tank. At gas stations across Ottawa Saturday, drivers watching closely as prices continue to climb.
It's a bit of a shock because last week it was $1.20 something, right? So 30 cents a litre.
At an Esso on Carling Avenue, gas sitting just under $1.55 a litre, and for David Mason, it's an expensive trip.
I'm old enough to remember when gallons, right? So if it went up, 7 cents a gallon, people were shocked. And now we're talking about 30 cents a litre.
Overnight, the average price in Ottawa rose about 6 cents a litre, bringing it to roughly $1.52 per litre Saturday morning.
I did a quick search this morning seeing what average gas prices were in Ottawa, and I saw more around the $1.34, $1.36. So yeah, when I saw $1.54, I was a bit stunned.
To see gas prices in Barhaven being this expensive is kind of like I don't get it, to be honest. That makes literally no sense to me at all.
Analysts say the increase is tied to rising global oil prices, partly driven by the ongoing war in the Middle East, specifically surrounding the Strait of Hormuz, which is where 1/5 of the world's oil supply passes through.
This time last week, a lot of gas stations were serving fuel for under $1.50, somewhere in the $1.38, $1.37 range. But of course, with the strike on Iran and the response by Iran, it's created an inordinate amount of pressure on oil and on petroleum products.
And McTeague predicts it could increase even more.
I think the price will probably move up another $10 a barrel, pushing to $100 a barrel by the end of next week. Gasoline probably up another 10 to 12 cents a litre.
Because it's winter cold weather, I don't want to take a chance on the car having less than a quarter of a tank, so I'll do it once, but I don't plan on using it very much in the next little while.
Even with prices rising, Mason says convenience matters more than saving a few cents.
Closest is more about convenience and saving myself time. So yeah, I don't worry as much about it. I don't shop around for it.
So for Mason, convenience is first, but of course that's not always the case for drivers, especially with prices expected to rise another 2 cents Sunday. McTeague offering some advice to drivers to fill up your vehicles after 6 p.m. That's typically when stations lower prices, and to check specific apps to help find the lowest prices across the city. Austin.
And good advice, Josh. Thank you very much for this. CTV's Josh Morano reporting live for us tonight. Well, it is a soggy day here in the city. You can see the rain falling down here behind me in the Byward Market. Almost feels like I need an umbrella for this kind of a shot. And there is a flood watch that's in effect for North Gore. Rainfall warning from Environment Canada. That is in effect. Environment Canada saying that rainfall combined with melting snow is expected. The ground obviously very frozen still, and so won't be able to absorb much of that rainfall. Expecting about 20 to 30 millimeters with locally higher amounts in some areas, possible thunderstorms as well. You can see tonight's low 2 degrees, so we're still above the freezing mark, but it will be wet across the region. Gatineau, 0 degrees is the low tonight, 2 degrees in Kemptville. We do expect things to not get quite as warm as what we are experiencing today. We're above double digits today, about 11 degrees right now, and tomorrow's high 5 degrees with the rain continuing. You do see some mixed precipitation in Pembroke, maybe some slush mixed in with that rain with a high of 5 degrees. Similar story in Bancroft, Petawawa as well at 5 degrees. Tomorrow's high in Gatineau 5 degrees as well, and it's the same story in Montreal. Well, the Ottawa Police Service is mourning the death of one of its officers tonight. The Police Association president confirming Sergeant Robert Cleroux died by suicide while off duty. Cleroux had been with the police service for about 28 years. He is being remembered as a hardworking friend, father, and husband who cared deeply about keeping the community safe. The Ontario Police Service, or rather Ontario Provincial Police, are now investigating, which OPS says is standard practice. And if you or someone you know needs help, there are several mental health resources available in the National Capital Region. You can contact the Ottawa and Region Distress Centre by calling the number on your screen. That is 613-238-3311. Well, the city turned green today for the St. Patrick's Day parade in downtown Ottawa. The festivities returning After a 7-year hiatus, it's the first time we've seen the parade here in Ottawa since the pandemic, and CTV's Natalie Van Roy was at the parade today, which just narrowly missed all that rainfall. And Natalie, it sounds like this was quite the celebration.
It was, Austin. The Irish Society of the National Capital Region thrilled to host the parade again, which hasn't taken place since 2019, and thousands came out to show their Irish pride, also highlighting how Ottawa has a special connection to the Irish heritage.
Festive music, bands, and costumes for the St. Patrick's Day Parade in Ottawa.
It's really nice to be able to be here on the first one back since 2019.
A sea of shamrocks and Irish pride taking over the nation's capital.
Favorite part is probably the horsey carriages.
The parade hasn't been out in a long time, and it's many years, good few years. So we just wanted to support the Irish community.
It's nice to see the Irish people out celebrating St. Patrick's Week.
Community bands, Irish dancers.
We just stumbled upon the parade, actually, and we could not be more thrilled to be here.
Happy St. Patrick's Day!
And more than 50 floats along the route. Mayor Mark Sutcliffe and Ottawa councillors showing their support.
It's a celebration, and it's so great to see everybody who has no Irish blood at all just come out and enjoy it.
The parade kicking off at noon at the Supreme Court of Canada before traveling along Wellington Street in front of Parliament Hill, crossing the Rideau Canal to Sussex and ending in the Barwood Market.
We look forward to it every year, to dress up in green and be Irish for a day.
It shows our heritage of Ottawa. The Irish was here building Ottawa, the Scottish were here building Ottawa.
I'm here to support the Irish community and have a bit of fun with everybody here who's celebrating the rites of spring. It's just fantastic.
Thousands showing up to take part in the festivities, remembering Ottawa's connection to Ireland.
15% of Canadians identify as Irish heritage, but in Ottawa, it's many, many more. The Irish came in here and we built the Rideau Canal. When we came first, we settled here in Bytown Market.
After the parade, dancers performing at Irish pubs like the Heart and Crown, which were packed for the occasion.
And this was also a chance to boost sales for downtown businesses ahead of St. Patrick's Day on March 17th, injecting some cash into the local economy. Austin.
And having some fun along the way as well looked like a blast, and staying dry too, which is quite lucky on a day like today. Natalie, thank you very much for this. Well, turning now to an event that's all about building tech hardware in person, a first of its kind hackathon initiative for high schoolers at uOttawa taking place today, encouraging students to get off their screens and instead to work with their hands. CTV's Camille Wilson attended today's event, and she's back in studio to tell us all about it. Camille.
Austin, from robots detecting temperature and humidity to measuring the time of sound waves, these students are putting their knowledge to the test with several pieces of hardware where learning all about the cutting-edge technology.
Double the power, double the power.
Getting hands-on with all types of hardware.
Find a power for those ultrasonics.
For Chandin Neer and his group, it's all about a new experience.
We were given a theme. It's to, we're stranded on a planet, and we need to find a problem to solve with using hardware and coding.
And the basics for surviving on this new planet.
We're planning on making a robot that will move around the planet and try to find out components about the atmosphere and see if the soil is moisturous and fertile.
Nearly 100 high school students from across Ottawa and Montreal building physical hardware projects from scratch in only 12 hours.
This is connected to power.
We could get a bit more experience with actual hands-on hardware wiring, which would come into useful with our robot.
Canada's first ever hardware hackathon for high schoolers.
They'll be actually bringing their experiences, their ideas, but mainly they'll be coming in, they'll be learning how to build a project, maybe for the first time.
Sarah Al-Soaf says she learns best by doing.
You come here and then there's like different workshops where you can learn things. There's different hardware components that I don't know how to use, but I'm learning as we go.
My main goal here is really just to learn, again, by doing, because it is really the best way to learn. You can't really do this by watching a video or just listening to a teacher.
It's all about teamwork and learning.
I was very inspired about how I was able to join a program, apply skills, learn skills, and compete with that.
We're trying to expose people to more stuff so they have more options in the future.
And at an affordable cost.
A lot of financial strain as well, because the hardware costs a lot, which is why we're excited to bring this to participants for free. free, so that anybody without financial barrier can join and build hardware projects.
For Nir, it's also about community.
It was a great opportunity to just meet new people, build really amazing projects, and try to innovate for the future.
Organizers say they've noticed a lot of these opportunities were only in the U.S., so they were happy to bring it to Canada. And I have to say, some of those innovations that I've heard today are game-changing. These students are truly building for the future. Austin.
Yeah, some very impressive young people there for sure. Camille, thank you very much for this. CTV's Camille Wilson reporting live for us tonight.
This type of hate and this type of behavior is quite despicable, and I'm standing here before you quite upset and quite angry this morning that I have to have this conversation with you.
Still ahead, police in Toronto and York region are beefing up patrols around places of worship after 2 synagogues were struck by gunfire overnight. We'll have those details when we come back. Before going to the break, though, here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. It is wet. It is 11 degrees. Investigators say it is too early to say if 2 shootings in the Greater Toronto area are connected. Community leaders and politicians are now condemning the attacks. The shootings marking the 3rd time synagogues in the region were targeted this week. CTV's John Musselman has the details.
At least 6 bullets tore through the front doors of this synagogue in Thornhill. 2 people were inside when the shots rang out just before midnight. Police say no one was injured, but the shooting has shaken the Jewish community, and Vaughan's mayor calls it a hateful anti-Semitic act.
This morning alone, I heard from several members of this congregation who feel like they no longer have a future here in Canada. That breaks my heart. The Jewish community here in Vaughan and across this country has been fundamental to our prosperity, our growth, and the values that I know we hold dear.
A police car and extra security is now posted at the synagogue. There will also be added police patrols in the community near places of worship. A command center has also been set up at the nearby Promenade Mall in Thornhill to address public concerns.
Oh, it's terrible. It's awful. It's there's a serious problem, and we have people lashing out at our community, and we need the politicians to do something about it.
I don't think it's right to go and shooting synagogue.
A synagogue was also hit by gunfire in North York just after midnight. It's located near Bathurst and Glencairn Avenue.
Let me be clear. An incident like this is vile and has no place in Toronto. It is completely unacceptable, and the Toronto Police Service is dedicating no small amount of resources to dealing with it.
No one was injured, and at this point, investigators say there's no evidence the 2 shootings are connected. But it has not been ruled out, and police will look for any forensic evidence that might connect them.
We'll even look at things like, cartridges, casings left behind, caliber of those rounds to see if those are the same and draw some parallels between that.
Sarah Lefton with the United Jewish Appeal calls these shootings horrific and a threat to all Canadians. It comes as tensions increase over the war in the Middle East.
This is not just a Jewish issue. It may look like it's just, because there are synagogues being shot at, that this is an issue that should just be of concern to the Jewish community. It is absolutely not. This is about violence and willful promotion of terrorism against democratic values and the right to live as Canadians safely and securely here in Canada. That's what this is about.
Meanwhile, Ontario Premier Doug Ford and Toronto Mayor Olivia Chow condemned the shootings in social media posts. Quote, "They are an attack on the Jewish community and a fundamental right of every person in Canada to worship safely and freely. Our government will continue working closely with police to ensure that places of worship are protected and those responsible are held accountable. Anti-Semitism has no place in Ontario. These are disgusting acts of anti-Semitism, hate, and intimidation." That post from Olivia Chow. Back in Thornhill, police are canvassing for security video. They say they're looking for a dark-colored sedan that was seen in the area at the time of the shooting.
John Musselman, CTV News.
And in a statement, Prime Minister Mark Carney called the synagogue shootings an assault on the rights of Jewish Canadians to live and pray in safety. He also called them fundamental violations of the Canadian way of life. He added in part, quote, federal agencies, including the RCMP, will use every resource to support law enforcement to identify the perpetrators of these crimes and bring them to the full weight of justice. Well, it has already impacted gas prices, and there are growing concerns now that the war in the Middle East could soon disrupt shipping at busy ports across Canada. CTV's Jonathan McInnes has more.
It's business as usual today at the port of Halifax, but eyes are fixed on the conflict on the other side of the globe.
The entire global supply chain is interconnected, so when there's a ripple in one place, it eventually will ripple out to other places.
The U.S.-Israeli attack on Iran has brought shipping in the Strait of Hormuz to a near standstill.
This really narrow choke point waterway is critical to the global economy.
20% of the world's daily supply of oil flows through the 33-kilometer wide passage between Iran and Oman. Following attacks and threats of more from Iran, 200 vessels are now anchored in the strait, many carrying petroleum products or consumer goods.
This higher inflation will impact the end consumer in a whole different number of ways. Costs for travel will increase. Costs for groceries, in terms of the cost of getting groceries into supermarkets, will increase as well.
Prices at the checkout could jump significantly within a few weeks, according to Sylvain Charlebois.
If diesel goes up 25%, coupled with the increase of the carbon tax on April 1st, because that does still exist, the industrial carbon tax, we're likely going to see food inflation go up by as much as 0.7%.
Halifax Port Authority Vice President Paul McIsaac says he's not just watching incoming cargo. Exports could also soon be affected.
We connect with 150 countries around the world, so some of the product goes to that region.
500,000 containers a year pass through the port of Halifax. Officials here say they're ready and able to increase the amount of cargo the port handles should the need present itself. Jonathan McInnes, CTV News, Halifax.
An update now on one of the critically injured victims in the Tumbler Ridge mass shooting. 12-year-old Maya Gabala has had her breathing tube removed to see if she can breathe on her own. And according to a post from her mother on Facebook, Maya's mother wrote, "It was a terrifying experience, but she says the 12-year-old is doing great and looking more like her beautiful self." Maya was shot in the head and the neck during the school shooting. In the wake of the Tumbler Ridge tragedy, there is a new push to ban kids from using AI and social media tools. Tumbler Ridge and Prince George Chambers of Commerce are urging the federal and provincial governments to put the ban in place for kids under 16 years old. They cited Canadian research showing heavy social media use is associated with higher levels of psychological distress, with younger kids the most vulnerable. The Prime Minister says there should be a debate in Canada about banning social media for children, but Mark Carney says he has not made up his own mind on the issue just yet.
I think this is something that merits an open and considered debate in Canada. I don't have a settled view on it. There are arguments in both directions, and now there's more and more experience with it, albeit on a relatively short term. To be clear, we're in a position, though, as a country where our legislation, the Canadian government's legislation with respect to online harms, the exploitation of children, is lagging. Naturally, this issue of an age of majority would be part of the consideration of that.
As we just heard there, Carney said there are arguments on both sides and more information emerging about how such bans work. This after a number of countries are implementing or considering bans similar to Australia, which was the first country to ban social media for kids under 16 years old. Carney visited that country earlier this week before flying to Japan. Well, attracting and retaining nurses is an issue right across the country, contributing to the major strain in Canadian healthcare. But there are dozens of new recruits in British Columbia who decided to leave their lives in the United States behind. CTV's Andrew Johnson has more on the American infusion on Vancouver Island.
You were laughing. This is a very unlikely group of co-workers, 4 Vancouver Island nurses who a few months ago lived thousands of kilometers apart in the United States.
I never imagined that I would ever leave.
But the women from Arizona, Michigan, and California each hit their own breaking point with the current U.S. climate.
If you're a nurse, you can't support what's going on down there. We all take an oath, to care for the poor and vulnerable, and that's not what's happening.
You face racism, right, in the U.S. It's almost like you can't miss it.
So belongings were packed up or sold off, and with partners, children, pets, or all alone, they crossed the border to start new lives in Nanaimo, BC.
It's beautiful here. There's so many beautiful hikes and waterfalls.
And they've been blown away by the reception from the community, including applause at the grocery store.
Somebody's like, where'd you come from? I'm like, oh, from the U.S. He's like, are you one of our nurses? I'm like, yeah. And then next thing you know, just a bunch of people started clapping.
Not surprising, considering BC is short thousands of nurses. The BC government has been actively advertising in the U.S. to recruit healthcare workers, but 3 of the 4 nurses we spoke to, now caring for patients here, were enticed by a grassroots social media campaign they saw on TikTok.
What if we picked a day in like a month and a half or so where all of you come up here?
That's Nanaimo's Todd Maffin, a part-time influencer who, on a lark, invited Americans to visit the city during the tariff dispute. And among the hundreds who actually showed up were a few healthcare workers considering making a move.
So my wife and I kind of repositioned the whole thing as a healthcare recruitment project. And I think we're past 40 nurses and doctors now that have passed through that program that are moving here or have already moved.
His social media-based healthcare infusion movement has now expanded to cities across the country in search of more people like this.
Oh, I'm already working on permanent residency.
I belong to you guys now.
My boys are old enough they can hop on a plane and come see me.
Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Nanaimo, BC.
I don't know how to say it. That's feeling so good.
Coming up, we will share the details on a program in our region helping seniors build confidence with therapy horses.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
There's a live look at traffic on the Queensway right now. Obviously, we have no ice to talk about. We were above the freezing mark by about double digits, but there is quite a bit of water out there. A lot of rain still falling down in parts of the city as we take another look at this wet weather forecast, and pretty nice to start the day. At least it was dry. We have a time lapse to show you from our Weston cam, and you can see the cars zipping by there. It was all good. A little bit of rain, nothing too major. It was great news for the St. Patrick's Day parade, but then around 3 o'clock, that's when it really started coming down, and it was very, very wet. We do have a rainfall warning in effect by or from Environment Canada. Expected about 20 to 30 millimeters of rain over the course of this evening through tonight. You can see that activity on our satellite radar, and so it is going to be quite wet, and there is also a flood watch that's in effect for North Gore. So in that area of that part of our region, just be on your toes potentially. So right now out east, it is -3 degrees in Charlottetown, or rather in St. John's, at 3 degrees in Charlottetown, above freezing. It's beautiful in Windsor right now. Nice sunny conditions, 16 degrees. Same temperature in Toronto, but a bit more cloud cover. We're currently sitting at 9 degrees. We got up to a daytime high of around 11 today. Pretty warm in Calgary, too, with a mix of sun and cloud. 15 right now in Cowtown. It is 12 degrees in Vancouver with some cloud coverage. So we do expect those showers to continue tonight, and potential for a thunderstorm as well here in Ottawa. 2 degrees is the low. 5 degrees is the high, with another chance of some rain by tomorrow afternoon, and a chance of flurries in parts of the Ottawa Valley, but likely nothing that's going to stick to the ground for very long because it'll be mixed in with that rain. And it's a similar story along the Seaway. Basically copy and paste what we're expecting here in Ottawa. That's what we're expecting along the Seaway. The 7-day forecast shows that we do have more double-digit positive temperatures On the horizon, Monday, 12 degrees is the high, 10 degrees on Tuesday, but lots of precipitation in the forecast. 30% chance of showers on Tuesday, periods of snow or rain on Wednesday, 60% chance of flurries on Thursday when things will be quite a bit cooler. 0 degrees is the high on Thursday. Well, seniors in our region are finding strength and balance and connection in a bit of an unexpected place. An equestrian arena, a therapeutic riding center in rural South Ottawa is pairing older adults with horses in a program that's designed to keep them active and engaged. That arena is located in Greeley. It's about 30 kilometers south of downtown Ottawa, and CTV's Tyler Fleming has the details.
Abtisan Abdul Rahim's smile says it all.
I love horses so much.
Walking alongside the horses, she feels an instant bond, and childhood memories warm her heart.
They are special to me. I've been raised in a small village and we used to always have horses.
Ibtisan's friend Nahia Kudi is reminiscing too.
I used to be farmer's daughter. I used to ride.
The two, alongside with many others, are spending the afternoon at a stable in Greeley with a program called Horsepower for Seniors, run by the Therapeutic Riding Association of Ottawa Carleton. Trot.
My grandmother had Alzheimer's, and I think this program would have really benefited her. So it makes me really happy to see other seniors involved in the program and to be able to have access to our facilities and our beautiful horses.
Here, participants groom, lead, and walk with gentle therapy horses. The event is geared towards helping with balance, strength, and coordination while building confidence.
When I was walking this one, he was so beautiful.
The program, now in its second year, is funded through federal and public grants aimed at keeping seniors active in their communities. Trot has been helping clients of all ages engage with horses for 50 years.
We had a chance to make a difference in the community that we're with, and we get a chance to meet some individuals every day. And occasionally make a difference in what they do in their lives.
And for Ibisan and Nahia, when it comes to another visit, there's no horsing around. They plan to be back.
But that was beautiful. I don't know how to say it. That feels so good.
Tyler Fleming, CTV News.
Not everyone wants a car, not everyone can afford a car, and not everyone can drive a car. So I'm really, really happy and really support to see an opportunity to give options to people.
A major residential development coming to Orleans, but there are concerns that there won't be enough parking spaces for the 1,500 new units. We'll have those details after the break.
iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford store, and Eastern Ontario's Ford EV leader.
It is time now to check in with our iHeartRadio Weekender, Tanea Taylor. Tanea.
You still have time to catch the Ottawa Gatineau Golf Expo. This is at the EY Centre, and it's your one-stop shop for all things golf as we get ready to kick off another season. Local and destination courses, live auctions, the Canadian Performance Fitting Centre demo range will be there, featuring all the latest equipment, even a $10,000 putting contest, and so much more to check out. Next, you can still also catch an Ottawa 67s game this weekend. They're taking on the Peterborough Petes tomorrow at the arena at TD Place as they wrap up their 2 home game weekend. So much fun for the whole family when you cheer on this team. As usual, lots more happening around the capital this weekend. The full list and all the details at ctvottawa.ca/weekenders. For the iHeartRadio Weekenders, my name's Tanea Taylor. Have a great one.
iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford store, and Eastern Ontario's Ford EV leader.
Well, in case you missed it this week, we shared details on a new proposal to build 5 residential buildings in Orleans, one as high as 40 stories. They could house hundreds of residents, but there is a catch. There wouldn't be any parking for the people living there. The development would be located in the area of Brisebois Crescent and Centrum Boulevard. It's close to Highway 174 and the future O Train East extension. CTV's Peter Sperling has the details.
Jacques Broder's daily dog walk near Orleans Town Centre may one day become busier.
This is a quiet area for now anyway.
There's a proposal to build a 5-building development here, which could include 30, 35 and 40-story tall buildings.
So it's going to be quite a big change for the area here.
In total, there would be 1,500 residential units, but only 136 visitor parking spaces.
I think it's unreasonable. I don't think that you can guarantee that 1,500 units, all these people won't have any cars.
According to the proposal summary submitted to the city by the developer, parking is not required given the proximity to future transit. The development would be near the future O-Train East extension, but there's still no opening date.
We have eliminated minimum parking requirements.
Ottawa Councillor Jeff Leeper says it's up to developers to decide if or how much parking to build.
There's been a recognition that that should be left up to the market.
Well, that's going to be a problem because surely people will have cars. That's crazy.
But some welcome the project.
Not everyone wants a car, not everyone can afford a car, and not everyone can drive a car. So I'm really, really happy and really support to see an opportunity to give options to people.
I think the development is long overdue, and it's an awesome opportunity for Orleans.
This local business owner embraces the added density to the area.
Most people who want to live in Orleans, they can't afford the houses in Orleans. So if you give that opportunity, it's just going to be a win-win for everybody.
The area councillor Matt Lulov says the existing infrastructure doesn't support an additional 1,500 units, and some resident parking is needed.
It's an exciting prospect to welcome new residents to Orleans, but the infrastructure needs to be in place to support that growth, and it just doesn't exist right now.
Peter Sperling, CTV News.
Well, Friday marked World Lymphedema Day, and for the first time ever, a flag was raised in Halifax to mark the occasion. As CTV's Stephanie Seco reports, while the disease can impact anyone, breast cancer survivors are most likely to be diagnosed.
It's a painful disease that affects more than 1 million Canadians, including Erica Fleck.
Pain, swelling. I started to get swelling in my legs, but my right arm is the one that it gets painful very quickly if I don't get treated.
The former emergency management director for Halifax Regional Municipality was diagnosed nearly 10 years ago with lymphedema after she beat breast cancer.
You know, I will say through cancer, so much support here. Like the medical system was absolutely amazing. But when I got to the lymphedema part and trying to figure out what was going on, there was zero help. Zero diagnosis, zero support.
Lymphedema is swelling that happens when lymph fluid builds up in the soft tissues of an arm or leg. 1 in 4 breast cancer survivors develop the condition.
I had to pay out of pocket for a very long time until I could get insurance to cover it. So I was really lucky, but there are a lot of people, especially women, who can't afford it. Compression garments are not covered. Treatment is not covered here.
There is no cure, but there are ways to treat it.
Manual lymphatic drainage is something that decreases pain. It moves the fluid that might be building up in their limbs and just assists them in having a better quality of life, more comfort, less pain.
Lynn Gray has worked as a manual lymphatic drainage therapist for 30 years and has helped countless patients.
Sometimes it can get out of control to the point that they don't leave their home. The limb is too heavy to move. They can't work anymore. Their self-esteem goes down.
To mark World Lymphedema Day, a flag raising was held at Halifax City Hall for the first time, a step toward getting the disease more recognition.
There's so much more that we can do to open people's eyes and just make them aware.
While it is a lifelong diagnosis, it can be managed with support. Stephanie Seco, CTV News, Halifax.
Keith, Cartwright now behind his own goal. There's a steal in front. They score!
The Ottawa 67's in action this afternoon at TD Place Arena. We will have a recap of the game as their regular season winds down. We'll also check out more of the stories you need to know when we come back. In tonight's Big Picture, large crowds took over the streets of India to celebrate the Festival of Colors, also known as Holi. Revelers can be seen in a mix of colors from head to toe. Singing and dancing looks like fun. Holi, celebrated at the onset of spring, symbolizes renewal of the triumph of good over evil. Turning now to some of the other stories that you need to know. Police in Arizona say they have arrested Canadian NBA player Dylan Brooks on suspicion of driving under the influence.
Failed to maintain your lane to 6 different times, yeah. And then it's, to be honest with you, it smells like a dispensary in your car. So when was the last time you smoked marijuana?
I've been smoking for 6 months.
Brooks is from Mississauga. He's a member of the Phoenix Suns, but he is out of the lineup after undergoing surgery on a broken hand last week. Scottsdale police say they arrested the 30-year-old early yesterday morning after observing traffic violations and carrying out an investigation. He was released 2 hours later, and police say it is now up to prosecutors to determine any potential charges. A reminder, the clocks will spring forward an hour early tomorrow morning, early tomorrow morning. As we enter daylight saving time, clocks jump ahead Sunday at 2 a.m., meaning we will lose an hour of sleep tonight. Most provinces follow daylight saving time, with the exception of Yukon and Saskatchewan. BC recently announced it is moving to permanent daylight saving time.
Zetterlund came over. Greg will keep it alive. Far side, one-timer, and they score!
After a win in Calgary on Thursday, the Sens are in Seattle for a game tonight at 10 o'clock. It's a late one. Fresh off the NHL trade deadline, Ottawa is looking to claw its way back into a playoff spot, looking to make the postseason for a second straight season. Right now, they are 6 points back of a wild card spot, 21 games left in the regular season. Seattle is coming off a loss to the St. Louis Blues on Thursday.
Across the Ottawa line, moves in, fired that one, and scores!
And the Ottawa 67s welcome the Brampton Steelheads to the arena at TD Place this afternoon. The Barber Poles on the losing end in overtime in this one. Brampton scoring the winning goal 2 minutes into the extra frame. The 67s will lace up again. They're at home tomorrow against the Peterborough Petes. The Barber Poles are playoff bound, but they have just 7 games left in the regular season.
Team with another chance to make it count on the player advantage. They've yet to do it this time. They do it now!
And the Ottawa Charge are looking to piggyback off this thrilling late game win earlier this week against the Torrent. Ottawa will visit the New York Sirens tomorrow. Puck drop for that one is set for 12 p.m. After the break, it was a special night for one of our own, Rosie Etta. We'll tell you what she was doing at the Sens game on Thursday when we come back. But before we go to break, there's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. It's cooling down a little bit now, but it's still 8 degrees.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Here's a recap of the top local stories we're following right now. Ripple effects from the conflict in the Middle East being felt at Canadian gas pumps. Prices are soaring across Ottawa today, and analysts warn more increases could be on the horizon.
It's really nice to be able to be here.
For the first time in 7 years, the St. Patrick's Day Parade returns to the Byward Market and Ottawa's downtown core as people line the streets to paint the town green.
This one, being its first ever hardware hackathon, is really exciting.
And a first-of-its-kind hackathon taking place in the capital today, encouraging students to get off their screens and start working with their hands. That was a nice day to be inside as well at the hackathon, because if you were outside, you likely got pretty wet. It was rainy, and it continues to be. We're likely waking up to some more rain with temperatures sitting around 2 degrees. We are getting to about 12 on Monday as the daytime high with a mix of sun and cloud, and then the precipitation is expected to return on Tuesday. 30% chance of showers. Chance of some flurries, actually, some snow on Wednesday, carrying over into Thursday, where we will reach the 0 degree mark as our high for Thursday, 1 degree on Friday with that same 60% chance of snow showers. Time now to check in with our news team to see what we'll be working on for tonight. Kimberly Fowler's here.
Yeah, we're looking out for any breaking news, Austin, and you mentioned earlier in the show there's flood warnings for parts of our region as well. We'll also have a chance to check out on the Sens and the Black Bears. Both are in action tonight. The Sens playing a little bit later. They start at 10, but the Black Bears, they're coming off a great win in overtime earlier this week, and they're looking to carry some of that energy into tonight's game. They'll be on the road against the Colorado Mammoth. Game time is set for 9 o'clock, and you can get the news anytime, anywhere at ctvnewsottawa.ca. Join me tonight for CTV News at 11:30.
Thanks, Kim. Looking forward to that. And finally for us tonight, this was a special one for one of our very own.
Yes, CTV's Your Morning Ottawa's host, Rosie Etta, getting a chance to announce the starting lineup at Thursday night's game.
Rosie's the best, eh? She says that she was super nervous to hop on the mic at the Canadian Tire Centre, but she would do it again in a heartbeat, and I think I can speak for all of us here when I say that she absolutely killed it and certainly made everyone at CTV very proud.
Yeah, announcing those names in both English and French.
Yeah.
She killed it.
Yeah, and she was bringing the energy, too. Like, you can check this out on her Instagram, Rosetta on Instagram, if you want to see the whole thing, but she was terrific on the mic.
You know who they should have do it next? You and me.
Oh, I'm in.
Let's do it.
Let's get in on the horn.
Let's put it out there, as they say.
Yeah, that's, you got to put it out there, make it happen. We'd kill it. I'll do French, you do English. How about that?
Got it.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Good night.